Okay, so picture this. It's 9 p.m. The kids are in bed, the emails are done enough. The house is quiet for the first time all day. And you lie down, and you cannot rest. Your brain immediately lists everything you didn't finish. Your body feels wired, even though you're exhausted. You pick up your phone because lying there with your thoughts feels worse than scrolling. And underneath all of it, that voice. You should be doing something. You've been managing everyone else's nervous systems all day, and now you can't access your own. This video is about that voice, where it came from, what it's doing to your nervous system, and why the inability to rest isn't a personality flaw. It's a physiological consequence of a system that taught you your worth is measured entirely in output. Every wellness account will tell you, change your mindset, give yourself permission, reframe your beliefs. But that's missing something enormous. When your nervous system has been running in chronic stress mode, when your HPA axis is dysregulated, your amygdala firing on high sensitivity for months or years, your body physically loses access to the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest mode, the biological state that makes genuine restoration possible. Research shows that under chronic stress, the autonomic nervous system loses responsiveness. It becomes difficult to relax when you need rest, and difficult to activate when you need energy. That wired and exhausted at the same time feeling has a physiological explanation. Your nervous system has forgotten how to downshift. The brake pedal stopped working. The parasympathetic system needs one specific thing to switch on: a felt signal of safety. Not the thought that things are fine, an actual bodily experience of being safe. For women who've spent years in chronic overfunctioning, carrying everyone else's needs, never quite enough, that signal never fully arrives. Rest becomes physiologically inaccessible. Not because you're bad at relaxing, because your nervous system has been conditioned to treat stopping as danger. This is not a mindset problem. This is biology. There's a word for this: hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is your body's security system, still running full patrol, cameras on, alarms primed, guards at every exit, in a building that was declared safe years ago. The system never got the update. Research on trauma-exposed women found the amygdala keeps firing in response to neutral, familiar stimuli long after the threat has passed. The nervous system stays in surveillance mode. This is why you lie down to rest and immediately feel more anxious, not less. Why silence feels uncomfortable. Why the moment you stop moving, your mind races. Stillness, for a hypervigilant nervous system, doesn't feel like safety. It feels like a gap in the lookout. The APA reported in 2024 that women are twice as likely as men to develop PTSD after trauma. But hypervigilance doesn't require a diagnosis. It develops from years of needing to be alert and available for everyone else, from environments where stopping wasn't safe, from chronic relational stress. It is incredibly common, and it makes rest feel not just difficult, but threatening. Tricia Hersey, founder of the NAP Ministry, author of Rest is Resistance, says something worth sitting with. You were not just born to center your entire existence on work and labor. You were born to heal, to grow, to have space, to dream, and to connect. Most of us were never taught that. From childhood, the message for women was consistent. Your value is tied to your usefulness. Praise came from achieving. Safety came from being helpful. Rest was what you got when everything else was done, and everything is never done. The nervous system learns. Stillness equals falling behind. Stillness equals not enough. Stillness equals risk. And here's the cruel biology of that. When productivity guilt kicks in, when that voice says you should be doing something, it triggers the sympathetic stress response. The guilt about not resting physiologically prevents your body from resting. The alarm activates to tell the alarm shouldn't be off. A perfect neurological trap. You didn't build it. It was built for you. I need to say this clearly because a lot of us genuinely believe we're resting when we're not. Scrolling feels like resting. You're horizontal, not doing tasks. But neurologically, it's the opposite of restoration. Every notification, every image stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. Dopamine spikes. Threat detection stays active. You're adding cognitive load while getting none of the recovery your nervous system needs. Tricia Hersey says social media is an extension of the same grind culture it pretends to offer escape from. You lie down, open social media, and 40 minutes later feel more behind than before. Because you've been absorbing other people's output while your body got nothing it actually needed. Genuine rest requires parasympathetic activation. No new inputs. A felt sense of safety. The opposite of what a screen delivers. Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, author of Sacred Rest, identified 7 distinct types of rest: physical, mental, emotional, social, sensory, creative, and spiritual. Most people are deficient in 6 while chasing only 1. Sleep covers the physical, but if you're waking up exhausted, and a lot of you are, it's because the other 6 are empty. For women carrying the mental load, emotional labor, and relational weight we've covered in this series, mental, emotional, and social rest are almost always the most depleted. Mental rest is quiet from constant information and decisions. Emotional rest is freedom from managing everyone else's feelings. Social rest is time where you don't have to perform or be available to anyone. None of these can be fixed by sleep alone. When the parasympathetic system genuinely activates, when the body receives a real signal of safety, measurable things happen. Heart rate drops, cortisol decreases, the immune system comes back online. The prefrontal cortex begins to restore the capacity that chronic stress has been quietly shrinking. Research on microbreaks, under 10 minutes, consistently shows increased energy, reduced fatigue, and improved performance afterward. Brief, genuine rest outperforms caffeine for cognitive restoration. Vagal tone, the flexibility of the vagus nerve to move between activation and rest, is a measurable marker of nervous system health. Low vagal tone links to chronic inflammation, poor emotional regulation, anxiety, and cardiovascular risk. Building it through genuine rest is not a luxury. It is what makes everything else sustainable. 1. Know the difference between rest and distraction. The test. Does this lower your heart rate and quiet your nervous system, or add stimulation? Nature, silence, warmth, safe connection, genuine rest. Screens, generally not. 2. Create a safety signal first. Dim the lights, make a warm drink, phone in another room. These aren't habits, they're biological cues that tell your body the surveillance can stop. Build the pattern and the downshift begins before you even lie down. 3. Start with 5 minutes. An hour can feel threatening to a hypervigilant nervous system. Don't start there. 5 minutes of stillness with no inputs. The nervous system learns safety through repeated small experiences, not grand gestures. Consistency over duration. 4. Name the guilt as a stress response, not a truth. When the voice says you should be doing something, say it out loud. This is productivity guilt. This is my sympathetic nervous system creating urgency out of habit. This is not information about what I need to do. Then rest anyway. Every time you do, you give your nervous system new evidence. Stopping is safe. Nothing collapsed. 5. Target the right type. Which of the 7 are you most depleted in? Mental, emotional, social, sensory, creative, spiritual, physical? Address that specifically. Emotional rest might mean one conversation this week where you don't have to manage anyone else's feelings. Sensory rest might mean 20 minutes of silence. Social rest might mean being genuinely alone, not available, not performing, just alone. Rest was never a reward. It is a biological necessity, as non-negotiable as food or water. Exhaustion is not a normal way of living. You were not built to be always on. That voice that makes stillness feel dangerous and rest feel irresponsible, it is not the truth about you. It is years of cultural conditioning your nervous system absorbed as a survival strategy. Survival strategies can be updated. Your challenge this week? Pick one type of rest, the one you're most depleted in, and give it 5 minutes every day for 7 days. When the guilt shows up, notice it, name it, rest through it anyway. Because rest isn't the opposite of doing enough. It's what makes doing anything sustainable. The next video in this series is about something that sits underneath everything we've covered. The clutter, the draining relationships, the inability to start, the inability to rest. There's a pattern connecting all of it. And it starts with something that happened long before any of this. You were taught to make yourself smaller, to put everyone else first, to shrink your needs, your voice, your space, until shrinking felt like who you were rather than something you learned to do. The next upcoming video is about you're not too much. You were just taught to be less. And it might be the most important one in the series. Before you go, drop one word in the comments. Which type of rest are you most depleted in right now? I genuinely love reading them. If this resonated and you want to improve your life, give it a like. It helps more people find these videos. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.